everyone, and welcome to today's Drama Hospital reaction. As always, recap, not reaction. Haven't called it that in forever. What's going on? As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. I realize I haven't responded to any comments from last week because it was so nonstop, so I will be retroactively doing that as soon as this is done uploading and all that, and probably just throughout this week too. And also, last week's Character of the Week winner was, drum roll please, that's not even a drum roll, Carly! And I'm not just saying it because it's my name. There were legitimate votes, but mainly for the reason that she showed herself to be a bigger and better person by how she handled herself with Elizabeth and offering their help and their support in light of everything that's happened. So to vote for this week's Character of the Week, you can vote in any of the videos this week or Fridays if you want to hold out and see how everybody acts. But you might know already who you think should be the best person, so you can feel free to vote. And I will announce the winner next Monday. So let's get to today's recap. At the DA's office, Jordan arrives because Paul needed to see her ASAP. So he goes through some incomplete case file and wants her to get more specific evidence, and she's like, sure, I'll have it to you by morning because she's amazing. I want her to work for me. No, I want to work for her. Forget that. Because she's awesome. She would be the best boss, wouldn't she? But anyway, so he gives her some compliments on how she runs her department and then asks if she's heard from Anna because he's concerned. So he's concerned how Anna's dealing with seeing her daughter and family adjusting to California. And then Dylan shows up and their conversation gets cut off. So Dylan's returning Paul's cufflinks, and he doesn't want to owe Paul or feel obligated to him. And I'm saying it like that because Dylan has reverted back to calling him Paul instead of Dad. So Dylan asks again why he really came to Port Charles because, Dylan originally thought it was to be closer to him and Tracy, but obviously not. And Paul says that he had no obligation to Tracy and there's two sides to every story. And Dylan's like, I'm not interested in hearing your side of it, at all. And Paul wants to get back to the good place they were at, and Dylan says it's unfixable. And I'm like, go Dylan, I have lots of respect for you. At the chapel, Sonny asks Carly if there's anything more they can do for Jason and Elizabeth, and Michael wants to talk to Sonny and Carly, he calls them, and they're going to meet him at the Floating Rib. And Carly points out that they haven't been out since he was shot, and Sonny says that he's ready to go out, and Carly commends him on his positive attitude, and we're all sitting here like, yeah, he just wants as many people to see him as he is, so that he can be I don't know, more of a blind side when he gets up and I don't know, sticks it to his enemies, however that's gonna work. At the Floating Rib, Anna is back in town, and Robert is continuing the search without Anna. Andre's there, and he checks in with her. He wants details so they can work on a further analysis of Carlos. So they consider themselves friends and colleagues, which I really like. And she feels that the case is a diversion to what the rest of her life is about, just for her personally, not for anything sinister. So she misses Robin and the family, and she's thought about going out to be with them, but she doesn't want to latch on to their lives, and she wants to find a purpose to hers. So apparently, Andre has had trouble letting something go as well, but they move on quickly and they don't address that. And I'm like, ooh, I sense a future storyline here. See, I have my antennas out. I'm not an alien, I promise. I might be. No, don't tell anyone. So Anna can't figure out how Paul fits in with the whole Julian and Carlos thing. And then some random people comment about Sonny when he and Carly come into the Floating Rib about how they didn't know he was paralyzed. And apparently they don't say it very quietly because Carly makes a comment to Sonny about don't listen to them. And I'm like, who's talking badly about the mob boss Sonny Corinthos, which that's how they started. They I didn't know the mob boss Sonny Corinthos was paralyzed. Why are you saying that within his earshot? Are you mad, people? Don't do that. So Michael tells them that he's going to go to Puerto Rico to find Sabrina, and they're like, eh. Anna tells Andre she feels Paul has a much larger agenda and she fits into it somehow, and Andre thinks Paul wants Anna. And I'm like, no, no. Why are you and Robert are like so off about this? So Jordan comes in and apologizes for delaying their evening and then sees Anna talking to Andre. So Jordan updates Anna on the side about Paul being suspicious. Michael is still very angry for the lies Sabrina told, but he wants to see her face to face. And Carly brings up the postcard and how Sabrina chose to have the baby away from him and with her family. And she also says the whole relationship really started about consoling each other and it wasn't a good foundation for a lasting relationship. And then Sunny backs up Carly. And Michael's confused because Michael's like, hey, you're the one who told me to talk to Sabrina in the first place. And Sunny's like, well, yeah, but that was before the postcard. Like, that made all the difference. So Sunny says that Sabrina made her choice and Michael needs to honor that. So Jordan tells Anna about all the questions Paul had asked her. And Anna apologizes, for putting her in the middle. And Jordan says, like, it's okay. She just wanted her to know that she's still on Paul's radar. At the hospital, Franco is looking at Jake's pictures outside of Jake's hospital room. And Jake is saying to Elizabeth, I killed her. And Elizabeth, like, isn't listening. And then she's like, okay, what do you mean? And he says, Sam. So now she's like, what? Say what now? So he says he's killed a lot of people in the games. And he says he hates Sam and all the bad guys in the videos. So she asks if he wants to hurt Sam. And then Jake goes unconscious and a nurse comes in. So I'm just thinking of this now. So if it sounds weird, like, just, forget it. But, like, these video games with the bad people, Jake's talked about them a lot. What if, like, Helena had set up something where, like, with real people in his life, Sam being one of them, that, like, he's, like, killed in the video games? Like, you know what I mean? Like, to associate them as bad people. So when he eventually does come back into the real world, he's, like, a little messed up when it comes to who's bad and who's good. Because I know, like, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. What do you think? So Franco asks Liz how Jake is doing, and she's speechless, and they hug. So that's different. Back at the chapel, Franco and Liz talk. And she tells him Jake is mixing up reality and his games. And she tells him that Jake said he killed Sam. So Liz is honestly confused. Okay, sorry, this was sarcastic. Liz is honestly confused. There you go. As to why Sam is the target of Jake's anger. And Franco's like, maybe because Sam's the target of your anger? And she realizes she wasn't very good at hiding her feelings about Sam. So then she blames herself and says she's a bad mother. And Franco's like, you're not a bad mother. And he talks a bit about his mother and that lopsided relationship where she had lost touch with reality. So then Liz blames herself for not wanting to listen to Franco because he mentioned Sam. And, that whole thing where then she didn't want to hear what he had to say. And that she might have been home sooner and this whole thing could have, like, not happened, like, with him out in the road. And, like, was it really that much of a time difference? Because then, like, Jasam ran in. So, like, I don't know. Would it really have made that much of a difference? Maybe when it came to Sam, but she doesn't know any of this yet. So he tells her to stop hating herself. And then a neighbor calls her and probably tells her what happened. More on that now. So at Elizabeth's place, I sound like the news. So back at Elizabeth's place, Jason arrives to the alarms blaring. He finds Sam in the basement at the bottom of the stairs and says, run to me for real. And she gets up for real and just kidding. Jason didn't find Sam and she didn't wake up. He's still searching the house and upstairs and she's still unconscious. None of that happened. I know, I brought you on a little journey there. So he finally goes in the basement for real. Real, not for really real, not even kidding. He finds her for real, and she comes to realize that he's there, and he carries her out of the basement. The fire starts, and it's inching closer to the heating oil. Jason's running with Sam, and the house explodes, and they get thrown out of the doorway, and it's actually a really awesome shot, because it's, like, in slow motion, and you got the fire, and them, like, flying. It was really cool. I'm sorry. I took film class a little bit. Can you tell? So Jason checks on Sam She says, I knew you'd find me, and he picks her up and carries her away from the house, and our little Jasam hearts just fluttered in the wind. Back at the hospital, Liz gets the news about the explosion, and they manage to contain the fire. She doesn't know if anyone was hurt or how it happened. And then Jason carries Sam in and says that she was in a house explosion, and Liz hears what he said. So he wants to go with her when they roll her off on the gurney into the into the emergency room, like the actual room they're gonna work on her in, and they say no, and he goes, I'm her husband, and then our little J-Sam hearts exploded like Elizabeth's house, and oh my goodness, it was the best moment of my life. I had a lot of good moments, and that was the best moment of my life. It made my voice go like this. So Elizabeth asks Jason what happened. He says Sam was in the basement for probably around 24 hours. She might have fallen. He goes to check on her, and Liz says that Jake wasn't talking about a video game. Franco comes over, and Liz thinks that Jake pushed Sam down the stairs. The doctor says that they're going to assess Sam for a concussion. And Jason tells Sam that she's going to be all right. She's awake. She asks what happened. And then, she kind of talks through it. She remembers being in the basement and then the house exploding. And she says that he kept her safe, and he always does. And now, end scene. If that wasn't enough, we have more. So Michael's going to cancel his flight and quashes that whole thing faster than the Fine Brothers quashed React World. What? YouTube diss! Okay, sorry. Jordan and Andre reschedule because they both have early days. Anna comes to see Paul. She says she doesn't want to be alone. Is she really playing that angle? Because I'm intrigued. And Liz is going to check on Sam. Franco's concerned and doesn't think that might be the best thing for her to do. And then Sam says that she didn't give up on Jason and tells him about the dream she was having. She says that in the dreams he said, run to me, but he kind of finishes that sentence, and then they hold hands, and I'm borderline crying and trying not to scream. And it's a good Monday. It's a good Monday, everyone. So, and then to make it even better, Liz sees them holding hands and staring into each other's eyes, and our little J-Sam hearts grew anew. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Are they gearing up for Valentine's Day? I think they might be. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm in shock right now. Are you in shock? Because I've had a crazy busy weekend, and it's just been nonstop, and today was such a good day. Oh, General Hospital. I'm so happy. All right. That is all for me today. Did your little J-Sam heart explode today? I would like to know in the comments. I will see you tomorrow. For more General Hospital normal scheduling until I say otherwise. And I hope you have a great day. And I hope if you weren't having a great day, I hope this made your day great. So I will see you then. I hope you have. I already said that. I'm so happy. Are you happy? I'm so happy.